Hey everyone, I'm here with Adam Latin. I've known Adam for quite a few years now, and I'm just staying off camera, just keeping social distancing. But Adam, how did you get into all of this? How did you even start? First of all, who are you?
Okay.
Let's start there.
So, I am Adam Latin. My business name is The Clearest You. I consider myself a holistic counselor. I focus a lot on helping people articulate their feelings. I focus on helping people communicate better with those people around them. I really help them focus on knowing how to express their own identity in a clear language that other people can at least acknowledge on some level, even if they can't fully understand.
Okay, so kind of in a nutshell, hard to describe, but I can speak from personal experience that I had one session with you, and it really helped me to realize something about myself.
Right.
And I have to tell you, in that one realization, I'll even share what it was. Basically, you told me that, I try to help absolutely everyone all the time. And that I try to fix everybody's problems. And I was like, oh, geez, he's right. I do. And you told me to realize that I am an amazing opportunity for people.
Yep.
That I can only help people as much as they're willing to help themselves. And, I was really beating myself up about certain stuff. And you know what? It sank in. And then it had this, so first and foremost, when you said that, it kind of lifted this tremendous weight off of me, And then, this is over a year ago now.
Yep.
It is continually having these ripple effects, And so I have to thank you for that. I mean, just something obvious, it was so obvious to you.
Right. I'm not living it. So that's
You're not living it, exactly. So
that's
sometimes
what makes my gift so amazing, is because I'm not living the situation, but I may have previously lived it, or I may have seen it in someone else.
Yeah, recognize it, sure.
I can recognize it and engage with it in a way where, see, I don't really believe in the idea of attacking someone for where they're at.
No, you don't.
I've noticed that a lot of practitioners kind of get angry and upset.
Or they challenge.
Where
you're at.
I want to say, hey, do you know this is happening?
Yeah.
Hey, do you know this is happening?
Exactly. Yeah, you're a conscious observer.
Right.
That's the first step, I think, in who you are.
Yeah.
You are a conscious observer.
I am.
And it isn't just a matter of being a conscious observer and being like, hey, do you know you're doing this? Great, and you leave them there. No, you actually, have ways
tools
to work with
and
people.
techniques that I've developed, because I've worked with thousands and thousands of people since I've been practicing.
And it's been a while. How long have you been practicing?
I've actually been a holistic practitioner for 20 years. As of this year, it's been 20 years.
And you're just a baby, too. He started when he was 4.
Yeah, sure. Okay. No, actually, I started when I was 23.
Oh, really? Okay. All right.
Yeah. And it started with my massage and my Reiki and everything like that. Reiki blew me open to these amazing opportunities, and I have found well over 100 mentors in the entire time that I've been studying in this field, because I love learning. I love learning because even if it's not for me, it'll be for a client down the road.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Well, I applaud you for that, absolutely, because a lot of people also don't continue the learning process. They think, oh, I'm a master in this, that's it, I'm the pinnacle.
Right.
And the more I learn, the more I realize how little I know.
Yeah.
So
I was lucky enough that I had a teacher that really developed that pinnacle idea. And I saw that she actually ended up losing her gift over time.
And that's what happens.
And so it's always kept me aware of the fact that I'm an opportunity. I'm just a messenger, or a pathway. I'm only part of the process. And if I engage with the fact that I'm amazing at the part of the process that I'm a part of, it keeps me very well in balance.
But you're kind of the part of the process that's carrying people between the rocks.
Yes.
You
Or
know.
actually, I just shove them off the rocks if I'm lucky enough. If I'm lucky enough to really have an answer, and I have previously had that opportunity, I just take people and I say, okay, I know those are rocks. I know you've been on the rocks, but here,
Try
let
the water.
me,
Yeah.
let me get you off the rocks so you can start making conscious choices and really develop your own connection to the divine or continue along your path.
Right
Because
on.
I'm just a middle person. I'm just a stop along someone's journey. I don't want to be their journey. That's not what I'm about.
And having that kind of humility about the kind of help that you give makes it that much more genuine, that much more helpful, that much more approachable
Yeah.
as a client.
Yeah.
You know, you were talking about basically what you do is you help teach people tools, or you help people create their own tools and techniques to kind of counter a lot of things.
A
What
lot
do you
of
feel?
negative programming.
Yeah.
One of the things that I talk about is I have a loud voice. Okay. and this may not seem significant until you really understand that there are a lot of people that have had loud critics in their life. And there are these beautiful people, and I'm not trying to diminish what they offer, but they speak peacefully and gently and softly to these people that are really struggling with these loud voices.
Right on.
My voice is so loud, it'll sometimes outshout someone else's loud negative voice. I create a shouted positive message to combat someone's shouted negative message. That's something that I've come to understand about my work that I absolutely celebrate. Because people say, I'll have a negative thought and they'll hear me yelling at you about that negative thought because we've had that discussion and you're not supposed to think that way. So it actually works. It's actually
it is a form of
traction.
programming.
Right.
Yeah, it is a form of programming, and it's incredibly helpful programming. And me as a sound healer, I understand
Right.
exactly that. But also, having been a psych major, blah blah blah. It is actually a counter
Right.
program
Right.
to all the negative stuff that we hear, and yeah, I could go into lots
Right.
and lots of levels, and I know you
Right.
get them, and I don't want to give away
Right.
the whole story. People need to meet you and experience this,
Right.
because it
Yeah.
is, you are an experience.
Right. I am definitely experienced. I will say that I'm only for the right person. I can't work with everybody. I'm not a terribly gentle soul. I consider myself a warrior healer. I teach people a sense of victory,
Love that.
a sense of, I teach people how to celebrate themselves, but also how to fight for themselves, to celebrate their own identity and what is amazing and wonderful about them.
And not just to celebrate, learn how to celebrate themselves.
Right. Well, that's the thing is,
yeah.
celebration is not something we are taught actively anymore. Yes, you're taught to celebrate a birthday or celebrate a holiday, but there's really, if you go to other countries, there's a constant celebration every week.
Yeah.
And it's all over the place. There's
Even other parts of this country.
Right, even other parts of this country, there's smiling and laughing and dancing and all this wonderful stuff that I really believe if the right people embraced it, it would be tremendously healing.
So you were talking about helping people to create their tools and their techniques. Yeah, and we were talking before, it definitely, I know you help people counter low self-esteem, depression, negative beliefs, judgment, criticism, and all of that.
I've had success with people with PTSD,
Yeah.
people with both sexual trauma, physical trauma, emotional trauma. I work on a very deep level if people are ready to go there, if I'm their sort of person. That's the thing is, I can't promise with anyone. I don't ever make a promise that I can help them even reduce the amount of challenge they're under. All I can do is see if we can work together well. I am very lucky enough that I have a whole dynamic group of other healers that I've worked with and that I trust. So oftentimes, even if I'm not their person, I might be able to actually find someone that is their person. So even if somebody wants to just contact me and say, okay, it seems like you're just a little bit too, rough or strong or whatever the language you want to use is, I can say, okay, well, what are you really looking to alleviate or reduce? I don't say cure necessarily, but you can alleviate the symptoms of many things over time. There's a potential for things to be alleviated, to become so small almost that they don't exist. But to permanently destroy something, I don't like to make that commitment.
And you know what? That's really one of the many things that I really love about you, Adam, too, is that you're not coming from a place of naive ego.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overinflated ego that I'm the best, I can do this for everyone, I can do this, that, the other. Because guess what? That's no matter who says it, that's not true.
That's toxic.
It's toxic and it's not true no matter who says it,
right.
So the fact that, you have that humility, but you have such a strong personality and such a strong presence, and warrior healer, I think, is absolute perfect description. Absolutely. Right. I've met a lot of your other clients too, and maybe it's kind of when they're ready to come out and face the world.
Right, yeah.
That they're ready to come out and be more social, and they're genuinely happy people. Yep. When I meet them.
Yeah. To be perfectly honest, I love people, okay? I love people at all stages of their life, wherever it is that they are.
And you accept them for where they are.
And I do accept them from where they are. I actually really get very saddened by people who talk too much about I believe in you. Because with people that are struggling, what they don't realize, if you talk to someone and you say I believe in you, they kind of feel like they already feel like they're not good enough.
Right.
And I believe in you is kind of like this energy of I believe that you can move in this direction. I really focus on the idea of, and what I say is, I believe you. And when the first time someone hears, I believe you, not, well, I hear what your challenge is, I believe you can overcome it. It's first, I believe that you are struggling as much as you say you are. Sometimes people need the comfort of, I see where you are. I see how painful experiencing this process or this situation really is. And that in of itself, I see you and I don't judge you, I see such powerful transformation. And just knowing that there are people out there that see you and aren't immediately trying to get you to be more or different than where you are, but that really just honor, okay, hey, this is where you're at. It's okay. I actually have had the amazing opportunity with a number of my clients to tell them, stop growing. It's essential for the moment that you take a hiatus from personal growth, that you've already expanded to the point where you are more than enough. Give yourself 3 months or 6 months to just celebrate where you've gotten to. You're never celebrating where you're going to, so you're never acknowledging that you're safe and you're enough right now. And it's so important that people just look at, okay, well, I feel unsafe, but am I really? I know people that have a spouse, children, their finances are safe, everything is, maybe they're not raking in $1 million a year, okay? But their life is safe. They can navigate challenges, they're okay, and they still do not feel safe at all. And so that's, safe is another big thing for me. In fact, just to quickly mention this, I am licensed in the state of Connecticut for massage. And one of the things I do is called Safe Space Massage. I work with people who've had negative experiences with touch.
Yeah.
And I help them feel safer in their bodies. I work with them at whatever their comfort level is to become more connected to and feel safer in their physical self, safer with trust, and really trusting that someone that puts their hands on you is doing it from a place where you're still in control.
Right on. You know, you said something that I really love, that you see people where they are. And it harkened back to something I was recently reading in Ojibwe, which is one of the first languages, Native American languages on this continent. One of their greetings is Kawabmin, and it simply means I see you.
See you. Yep.
You know, and that just resonated with me so deeply that things, you know, when they pulled all the minutia of the world away and they actually faced each other.
Yep.
That was their greeting.
Yep.
You know, and it's a really truly powerful and profound thing to have someone truly see you.
It is. It is.
So,
and I started out with people doing that for me. Mm-hmm. So a large part of it is, as I said, I had amazing mentors. I have amazing people that I connect to that are part of my tribe and my community, that being seen and not immediately feeling like I have to be ready for someone to humiliate me or shame me. Like when I started really experiencing that, that's when I started really developing this gift. Like it just kind of went hand in hand.
Just opened it up.
It just opened it up. It was just, and I love it.
Because they allowed you to be you in that space at that time and just be.
Right. And I grew up in a very different environment. So when I experienced that, when I experienced this kindness and authenticity, like I love the word authenticity. I really try and be an authentic person. It saddens me how much authentic people are actually treated the worst and not the best.
I've seen that.
And so I love helping authentic people. I work with I've had the opportunity to work with some amazing individuals. And when I started working with them, they didn't know they were amazing. But within a little bit of time, I was able to convince them, because I really talk more about facts and experiences in someone's past, or I try and help them look at their present. I'm not, even though I do consider myself an intuitive, it's not really about the future. I really leave the future for, even when I do my intuitive work, I leave the future for the person or people involved in the situation to create on their own. Like I give them, well, you could potentially do this, or you could potentially experience that. But I really believe so strongly in free will as a concept that I focus more on maybe what's previously happened and what may have created an incorrect message, or even what's presently going on, and helping people see that, you know, maybe they love what's presently going on and they can celebrate it, or maybe they don't like what's going on. But if I can't find a solution to help someone change it, if that's their desire, individually, I can help an individual change the things that they personally have control over. They can't necessarily change another human being. And
well, you also help them to learn what they can and
can't change in others,
yeah.
Right? That's the thing, is I'm really very big on engaging with the idea of reframing. I say that I want every 5-minute block of my time to be sacred. So I will waste 4 minutes on someone, but I won't waste 5. And so I really, by the time 4 minutes has gone by, I have to know, is this a sacred interaction? Is this a sacred use of my resources? Or is it wasteful? Or is it just not accomplishing anything, and it's not treating myself and my energy sacredly? And so I talk a lot about sacredness. I talk a lot about, when interacting with people, I talk a lot about the idea of cherishing someone. And that I really feel, at least in New England, where I pretty much lived my entire life, I feel like it's not a heavily engaged with concept. The energy of cherishing someone. My definition of cherishing someone is to really discover, know, or be objectively aware of how someone receives love and appreciation, and to perform an act or present an energy or a concept or whatever it is that makes them feel appreciated based on their language, their definitions. I feel like a lot of times we love someone based on what they sort of embody and create in us. And so you can love someone, and that's wonderful and that's amazing. But to truly work to keep them, to really work to making sure that that love stays, is an act of cherishing, to really engage with. And I believe that because of who I am, and I'm a unique person, that it's really important to communicate, okay, this is how you hold on to me. This is how you engage with me. This is how you cherish me. Just something that simple. And I've seen it change the lives of couples. I've seen it change the lives of families. I've seen it change the lives of so many people. Just that simple conversation. As much as I wish it weren't true, there are a lot of people that become depleted, and they say, well, that's what life is about. I know, I'm not saying that I agree with that concept. I'm saying that someone in their life taught them that, or they somehow came to the conclusion that you sacrifice, and all you are is to, all you're supposed to do here on the planet is be of service to others. And so that creates a different balance. And I try and teach people, okay, let me tell you, if you balanced how much you're in service to others with also equally being in of service to yourself, you will find being of service to others is actually easier and takes less effort. And you can actually do more in that way. And these are all the things that I love working with people on. You know, it's one of the reasons I created my book, so that those who can't actually sit with me directly can have like a taste of how I perceive the world and the questions I feel it's important to ask other people. Right?
Which is of the same name, same title,
Right.
The Clearest You.
It's The
Yeah.
Clearest You. And I'm one of the co-authors. It's largely my work, though. It's largely my voice. If you've seen this video, you will hear my voice when you read it.
And, you know, I want to harken back to the part you were talking about individuals and families. You also work with families.
I do. I love it. I love working with families because I do engage with the brain, okay? And I believe that people don't choose how they think, okay? So a lot of times people in families, especially parents, will try and teach children information the same way they were taught. And then there's disruption because the child can't learn that way. Or it can also be an aspect of values. Believe it or not, even at 8 or 9 years old, some children actually know what their values are. And if you try and get them to shift their values, you will actually create a potentially permanent disconnection, because they know what they need to be motivated by. And as much as you may want them to be motivated by something else, trying to do that will not be helpful. It will create a lot of disconnection, a lot of arguments, a lot of strife. And I feel like I kind of act as a translator and mediator when I engage with families.
Okay, so when do families typically come to you?
What usually happens, I have a client that's struggling with a family issue, okay? And I say to them, okay, well, here's what's going on, here's what's happening, okay? And then they'll say, well, can you work with all of us in relation to that? So it's like they'll just kind of come in, or like nowadays with COVID, I forgot to mention, I do work over the phone or over video chat just as easily as I do in person. So
That's fantastic.
so I ended up with 23 clients in Louisiana randomly. From one referral, I now have a whole client load of people in Louisiana because they referred to their various people, and it's amazing. I work with people all over the country. I'm, you know, and again, if I'm busy, I'm backed up, and you have a significant issue, I have people that I can refer to refer someone to so that they can get the help and support that they need. You know, I'm not going to say, oh, well, I'm booked out for a month, so why don't we do it a month from now? It's like a lot of times people that I work with are in crisis and they're challenged.
Yeah.
So if I know, okay, well, I would love to work with you. You're somebody who's definitely somebody I can work with, but I can't work with you. But I have people that I have trained and that I have taught, and I have people who I trust to be able to support and engage. And so I have no problem like referring out if I get too busy. I love working with families because I had a very challenging family existence. Luckily, as we've gotten older, we've been able to really learn and understand the other person's language and how to engage with it. So it's gotten better. Is it where I would love it to be? Not so much. But even improvement can be so amazing.
So it can get better with families.
It can get better. It just, sometimes it requires accepting. Sometimes it requires accepting the other person's limitations. Whether it's a child accepting the parents or the parents accepting the child. Sometimes it's important for them to know, okay, I want this from you, but you can't offer it to me. You know, instead what they may need is they may need additional support. Like, my mother was not good at holding my hand through learning information. My father was amazing. If I had a question about anything, he would sit with me, he would be patient, he would explain it to me. That was his skill set. My mother can't do it. It's just not in her. She learned everything entirely on her own without any support, so she doesn't have any idea what that looks like.
Yeah,
She
it
expects
was
that.
not modeled for her.
Right. So, and that's, I have been able to accept that and understand that, but it's only when I realized that she couldn't do it and she would never be able to do it that I was able to really be in balance with that circumstance. And sometimes I believe some people are capable of change, but I also believe some people are just not. Like you said, it's not modeled for them, or their brain isn't capable of it, or whatever it is. But I love what I do.
So, what do you consider a success story of your clients? Like, when they are able to...
I would say that when they become excited about something, it may not seem like a big thing.
No, that is,
but
absolutely.
To me, one of the other things I love is creating a sense of inspiration in people, okay? If somebody's even a little bit more inspired or a little bit less, if they experience less helplessness, if they're able to engage, it doesn't have to be big. Now, don't get me wrong. I have had some people that have done amazing, amazing things. But even being able to have, let's say someone can even have an extra single positive memory. Sometimes that's enough of a success. You know, it doesn't have to be big. It can build on itself. You know, some things happen rapidly, some things take time, and each person is completely different. But I like to leave every session with someone at least feeling like they perceive something in a more effective way for them, okay? I like there to be at least one aha moment, if not more. A lot of times there's more. But if there's not even one aha moment, if there's not even one sort of shift, I have to look at the situation and ask myself first, are they really capable of change? Are they really capable of expansion? Okay? And sometimes I really truly believe they're not, and that's okay. So I don't really engage with that. If I feel like they are capable of it and it never happens, I really try and refer out to someone else. If they didn't get an aha moment with me, I truly believe I'd be able to find someone that creates an aha moment for them. You know, if they're able to invest in that next opportunity.
So how often do you see your clients?
It all depends.
I mean, is it like a weekly, couple of weeks, monthly?
I have some clients that do weekly because I have packages where people can do things weekly. I have clients that will go 4 years between sessions. Like, I don't recommend anything. I really hate that. I know practitioners that say, oh, you should come and see me once a week, okay? I know that because I place strong value in what I do, I am not the cheapest practitioner out there. I charge for what I feel I'm worth as far as my rates go, okay? So a client may only be able to see me once a month, once every 2 or 3 months. It may take them a little bit, or I may not be able to work with them at all, but I have to also hold space for what's sacred for me. So I have one client that's been calling me every 3 or 4 days because they just moved from their location. I worked with one client for literally 3 hours because she was about to engage in divorcing her husband. And so she needed a tremendous amount of support, and she wanted to look at a ton of different things. Every single situation is so wildly different, I really don't know how to answer that question. You know, I'd
I
say,
think you did. I think you answered it wonderfully. I really do. Okay, so where do you meet with clients?
I do a lot of work over the phone. I actually prefer over the phone to video, but if somebody really wants to do like a Zoom chat or something like that, or a FaceTime, I will. But it's usually easier for me just to engage with someone's voice. Dealing with the camera is kind of a little bit distracting. I also have an office in Bloomfield, Connecticut. It's right on the edge of Windsor. It's appointment only, so I don't give out the address until someone actually schedules an appointment with me and they're actually gonna meet. We're gonna meet up, okay?
So how do people get in touch with you then?
People get in touch with me by my phone, which is 860-805-0482. Super simple number. I've had it for years, and it's the only one I'll ever have because I have had clients call me up after like 7 or 8 years. And they'll say, I found your card and I was really thinking I need another session. Because the cards hide and then appear.
It's true.
So, and you can always contact me also and find out information about me through my website, which is theclearestyou.com. And it's the letter U, it's not Y-O-U.
Correct. I wanted to point that out too.
Right, I always do point that out.
The clearest U, the letter.
But I also travel. So if it's within a 30 or so mile radius of where I am, I typically won't charge for travel. But I'm actually more than happy. I've had people pay for me to travel significant distances. If they pay the travel fee of how much it costs me to get someplace, I'll go on a plane and go anywhere. Like I'll travel anywhere. So I have tremendous flexibility, tremendous ability to engage with whatever someone's comfort level is. I do work out of the home. I do corporate events. I engage with all sorts of different ways of doing work. I love the work that we've been talking about, but I also do really rapid readings. So I do like parties and different things where I'll do like 5-minute readings, and it'll be for like 100 people in 4 hours.
I've seen this happen.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, Adam, I gotta say thank you so much for allowing me to kind of prod you for all of these questions and for kind of sharing what your gifts are. I wanted to get you more known, in the community. I know you're very well known around our community, but maybe there's a few folks out there that might see this, and I think there's more people out there that could really benefit from working with you.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate your help. Like I said, I do really better when I work with people. Yeah. And so it's been really a pleasure doing this video.
Right on.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. Yay. Thanks, everybody. And I will include Adam's contact information again at the end of the video here. And by all means, give him a call if you're going through some of this, if you have some questions. I know he will make himself available to talk with you. So, hope everyone's doing well. If you want to do better, give Adam a call. Take care, guys. Bye.
Thank you.